All right. All right. Hello, everyone. And we are live. Hello and welcome. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Pastrami Nation podcast. I'm Kevin. And of course, joining me today is co-founder of Pastrami Nation himself, Mr. Jason Smith. How you doing today, sir?
Good. How you guys doing?
We are doing fantastic. And of course, Godfather of Toys,
Yes.
Christian Nacorda. How you doing today, sir?
I am doing well, considering I barely slept last night. But yeah, how are you,
Nice.
Kevin? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. It's been nice up here in the Pacific Northwest. A week ago, we were complaining about the heat. The heat's been gone for a few days, which is nice. It's been beautiful. It's been last Saturday we went to there's a big UFO festival up here we went to,
Oh, cool.
McMiniman's UFO Fest. And it was just beautiful weather for that. Like it wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, just that perfect. Like I believe it was in the low 80s, upper 70s. But we were okay because we got lots of ice cream. And it was incredible. It was a lot of fun. So, yeah, doing pretty good, though. Doing pretty good. Pablo and Sarah Mendoza, what's up, man? How's it going? Nice to see you. If it's your first time here, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for checking out the show. If it's, your 100th time here, welcome. Thank you for checking out the show. Welcome back, man. We really, really love to see you guys. We love you guys coming in, leaving comments, and having a good time with us. Remember to like and share also, man. If you're watching this on Facebook or something, don't hesitate to just give it a little share. This kind of gets us in front of more eyes and more people can enjoy our content here. So guys, we live in a brand new era. We live in a brave new world. We no longer have HBO Max.
Oh no.
We now are in a world of Max. Bold move on HBO Warner Brothers part. So for those of you that don't know, Max is kind of a culmination of all of Warner Brothers owned channels. So they got Discovery, TLC, whatever. I can't think of anything else right now. HBO. They got all of these combined into one app now. So it's weird because I feel like a lot of people subscribe to HBO Max because of HBO, right? Like it's HBO Max, like that's a big thing. I feel like taking that name out of the content title is a mistake, but hey, what do I know? I'm not a marketing genius, but I guess it's the way they want to go. It is pretty cool. I was scrolling through it today. You just have to download a new app, use your same credentials to sign in. There is a lot of really, really cool stuff that I've missed out on because I don't have Discovery, and I don't have any of those streaming apps. So all of my ghost shows are on there. We got Ghost Hunters. Finally, I get to catch up on. Ghost Adventures, if you're into bros who yell at ghosts, like that's it right there. That's your show.
Is that the one with Zach Baggins?
Zach Baggins, he's the main bro. He's the main bro who yells at the ghosts. Yeah, check out all your Ghost Adventures, all that stuff. It's pretty cool. I think the price changed a little bit. I'm not exactly sure. I guess we'll find out when we get our bill because I don't really know. They don't tell you anything like with the new app. They're just like, here, download this new app, sign in with your HBO credentials. You'll be good to go.
Be a slight increase.
Slight increase. Yeah. We're going to notice that really soon, I'm sure. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about Max. Let us know if you guys like the change or if it's a little bit jarring for you all or whatnot. And then, yeah, we love to know in the comments. Let me just share this real quick. All right. So, you guys, there's been a lot going on in the world that we haven't really talked about too much on this show. We haven't really dug into it. And we're not going to dig too deep into any of this stuff. So I don't want to scare you all and think we're just going to be talking about boring stuff that we don't want to talk about. But as many of you guys may know, the Writers Guild of America is on strike right now. They are striking out there. They are out there with their picket signs. They are out there refusing to go back to work until streamers, until certain regulations could be passed for AI and stuff like that is taken care of. Mainly the streaming issue is the big issue. Writers make a living off of residuals. Like it's all about residuals, right? Like that's how they make their money. That's how they make their living. The The problem with streamers is they don't release their numbers a whole lot. They're not very transparent with the writers about who's watching their shows and how many people are watching them, things like that. So the residuals aren't coming in, right? So they're writing for one set amount, which isn't a whole lot to begin with. And they are just kind of putting faith that the streamer is going to be honest with them and give them what they're owed. Obviously, that has not been happening. I don't know if you guys are aware of the show called The Bear. Like, have you guys seen
I know
it?
of it. I have not seen
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. The writer of that, he went to a Critics' Choice Awards. I believe it was Critics' Choice Awards, and he had to rent a suit and everything to go to it.
Oh, yeah.
All these accolades, all these things for that show. This writer in particular went into debt just to get a suit so he can attend the award show for the show that he wrote and helped create.
That's not good.
There's something wrong with that, right? Like
They should be renting his suit for him.
They should 100%. But that's what it's all about. And then the whole AI conversation comes in, like all these studios and stuff are essentially experimenting with AI. They're feeding the algorithm all these different scripts to teach AI how to create TV shows, how to do all this. And of course, writers are scared that that's going to be the future. They're going to be out of jobs. One person, someone I was talking to brought up the idea that AI, yes, it's not perfect. So you're going to need people to come in and patch it up. Yes. But who's going to want to come in and train their replacement, essentially, right? Like they're going to have it all written out. You're just going to go in there and fix it, and then you're done. So that whole thing's kind of an issue. Hopefully that gets solved. My main concern with this right now are the films and TV shows that are going into production, like today. So we got a big update from the Deadpool 3 going to film starting today. That worries me because there's no writer on set, right? Every production you ever have, there's a writer on set to fix things, to say if this is right, this is wrong. Without a writer, you can't change any of the script. Ryan Reynolds is known as an improviser, right? Especially for Deadpool. This movie's going to go into production in an instance where Ryan Reynolds can't improvise. So it's going to be to the script, good to go, and then it's going to get pushed out into the world. I don't know exactly, Christian. I don't know about you guys, but that worries me quite a bit, especially with something like Deadpool, because the repercussions of the strike we're not going to see today. We're not going to see tomorrow. We're not going to see the rest of this year, but we will see it starting next year and the year after, right? We're going to get all these. The 2007 writer strike was a pretty big deal. Seasons were cut down of TV shows to like half a season. The writing wasn't great. And it's some of the worst TV seasons that we've had in a while. That's going to happen with movies. The writers of the new season of House of the Dragon, right? It's apparently all written. It's good to go. And they're talking about, oh no, we're fine. Like we already have our scripts and everything. Nope. So Game of Thrones guys hasn't learned anything from Game of Thrones, right? So what do you guys think about that? Do you guys have an opinion on that at all? I mean, does that worry you at all? Or are you guys pretty confident that they're still going to be able to make the same content? What do you guys think?
I don't think AI is going to be capable of doing everything the human mind can do,
Mm-hmm.
Like, and there's just, I don't know. It's going to be like, I don't know, when you call, like, say you call customer service on eBay and you get some guy from Bangladesh that's reading off the script and you can't get a straight answer out of him. I think AI is going to be like the equivalent to that guy, Like it's just going to be going off of a script, and that's that, not realizing, hey, this is a loophole or this is, something wrong or whatever.
Right. Yeah. No, and I think everyone should be scared of that, right? Because like AI, it's a good learning tool, right? Like it's a good teaching tool. AI does a lot of great things. Like I think it's really cool how far we've gone with AI, but it can't capture the human spirit and the heart that goes into a lot of these things, right?
Yes.
Which is just one of my main things too. Christian, what do you think?
First of all, as far as AI goes, I'm a big fan because I don't like work or money. I'm just kidding.
I mean, yeah, that's true though. Like that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. I think the average income for I think a writer in Hollywood, like a screenwriter in Hollywood, is about like $74,000 a year, which is great, right? That's fantastic. I think we would all be happy to be making that much money a year. But
Oh
then
yeah.
I think what we have to understand is like, first of all, cost of living in Los Angeles, let alone like having to pay the WGA fees and then paying like for a lawyer and then this and this and that and then like having a representation and then like really like they're only walking away with like I think before taxes and after all of their other fees, that's 25% of that 75 grand out the door already. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's in Los Angeles, that's rough, man. That's a really rough income. Like that's hardly like like a livable wage. So like talking about that writer from The Bear, that's awful to think of all the people that play a part in like the filmmaking process. Like so many people have like the glory and the fame, and it's weird that writers are just relegated to being like at the bottom of the list like that. Like when it's the backbone of every good thing that we love so much. It's awful. It's like it's also just insulting, I think, to the writers when they're asking for so little and Hollywood's like no. Because like we all know, it's not like they keep a secret about how much money they make. They can't, so
no.
like to see how much money is being made off of the backs of these people that work so hard and that's not getting shared with them, that's horrible. So yeah, I think this needs to be resolved and like however long this takes. It's awful, it sucks, it's necessary, and if we want to continue loving the things that we love, we've got to be able to like stand in solidarity with the creative people that make those things happen. So I'm in full support of it. And
oh yeah,
it's gonna suck. I just hope it's not as bad as 2008 because man, I still feel like we're still living in like the results of that one because reality TV never went away.
Yeah.
So I don't
know. Reality TV was a huge, came out of that. But yeah, like you're right. I heard some like, crappy take someone had was, well, they just need to get a real job.
Like I've heard that before from some idiot at work.
Yeah.
Well, anybody can do that. I could do that. I'm like,
no.
if you could,
Man.
why are you driving a forklift around?
Exactly. Exactly. And it takes work and it takes talent. Like it really does take talent to be anyone in Hollywood. And I know people will constantly say about how Hollywood's out of ideas or this or that or whatever. And it's like, hey, no, it's not. Like there's a lot of good content out there, like a lot of original good stuff. You just got to go check it out. But B, like these people work really, really hard. Like we've heard about the CGI, effects, the special effects guys who work at Marvel, right? Like what they've had to deal with, how they're treated and stuff like that. And then you have the writers who are treated like this. It's just so weird that these people who are, because you can argue again, like, the writers are the root of it all. They are the foundation of which everything is built. And especially the special effects guys are the ones who are making your movie look nice and pretty so it can go out there into the world. Like you have both ends of the spectrum, right? Like you have the very beginning of the thing and the very end of the thing. And for some reason, those two groups get marginalized for everyone kind of in the middle, if that makes sense. So it's just this really bizarre thing that's going to keep happening. And I'm so glad writers are standing up to do the right thing and to get what they're deserved. Get what they deserve. So
people don't respect the creative workers like the writers and the artists.
Yeah,
being an artist, I've talked with a bunch of them, and I talked with Frank Cho a couple of Comic Cons ago, and some guy was Frank Cho. If you don't know who Frank Cho is, you're not a comics fan. But, he was some guy had just got done bickering at him and everything, and I was like, "Gee, did you piss him off, Frank?" Because I've talked to him over the years, and he's like, "Did you piss him off, Frank?" And he's like, "No." I told the guy for a head sketch was $200, which is dirt cheap for Frank Cho,
Yeah.
And the guy flew a handle. Like, what was he expecting? $20? I mean, this is Frank Cho. I mean, people just don't like. Oh, it's just a drawing. Blah blah blah. This is what he does for a living. I guarantee you, nobody's going to draw like that.
Mm-mm.
No.
People don't respect the creative individual.
No, they don't.
I think it's funny because I just had this conversation like the other day, and like, people ask, like, "Oh, do you do commissions?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." And I say that as like I am lucky that I don't have to. You know what I mean? Like I hate and I feel so bad for all of the struggling artists and creative people that have to rely on commission, because nobody wants to pay you what you deserve. Like that's just it. And like people think that because it took you like 3 hours to do it, then like why am I paying you so much? And like, but what people don't realize is like the years and years and years that it took to get to the point that I can do this in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just because like people make it look easy doesn't mean that it's easy. And again, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Right.
So,
exactly.
I don't know. It's we are all entertained by it, but when it comes time to like, you know, make an exchange for that stuff that we love so much, then there's like a loss there. So
I've had that same commission question come at me before.
Yeah.
And I did it once, and I got insulted by the guy because I thought I was telling him a fair price. I was just like, hey, $40. You want a full body 11 by 17, full color, $40. Hey, I mean, good luck getting that at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
That seems a bit high, you know, it seems a little steep. I'm like, really? Like, I think the guy wanted me to give it to him for $10 or something, but it wasn't going to happen.
The only time I'll do it is for like friends and family. So it's if I'm gonna do it, I'm not gonna charge you. Like I'm doing it because I love you. Like that's why. Other than that,
I usually do it for a tall boy when it comes to friends.
There you go. That's perfect.
Anthony Blanco says, "Yo, what's up, Anthony? Nice to see you." But yeah, it is a crazy world we're living in. You know, AI, writer strike, man. Just give them what they're owed. AI can't do it. And then add a whole new layer of just people being idiots and banning books and like all kinds of, it's just this weird like dystopia that we're in. But yeah, we need to stop doing all that stuff, guys. Let's just let's get back on track. Let's the one thing I love about writing for Pastrami Nation and being a part of Pastrami Nation is I get to read all kinds of different stuff, right? Things from all walks of life come through here. Different kinds of artists, different personalities, different whether it's different sexualities, different races, different whatever, right? Like they all have content that isn't what people would consider, normal, right? Or whatever, quote unquote. It's what I love about writing for Pastrami and comic books in general, right? It's this big thing, right? Sorry, this can be another tangent real quick. I just got to get this off my chest. This stuff all exists. It's out there and people should be able to read whatever they want. I don't care how old they are. My daughter's 11. She wants to read. She reads Stephen King. It's fine. I as the adult, I'm like, yeah, like that's fine. It's my choice to let her do that. But I don't think anyone else should have anyone's hands on what our kids can and can't read. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I could get deeper. I'm getting mad just thinking about it. So I'm gonna keep on going.
It's a whole other podcast.
It's a whole other podcast, which we will definitely do.
I mean, I think, isn't it obvious if you're, I don't mean to like draw the line here, but like if you're adding limitations to people's education, if you're adding limitations to information given to people, sounds a little fascist to me.
It is. It is 100%. It's a very, very scary kind of world we're kind of moving into, which is really, really sad. So I mean, I guess you can say, right, to say the least. So yeah, hopefully again, another podcast, another time. I could go on forever about that. So guys, let's talk about some funner stuff. Let's talk about Walt Disney World, right? Let's talk about Walt Disney World, the rides, the vacation experience. One particular thing didn't work out very well for Disney, which was the Galactic Star Cruiser Star Wars experience at Walt Disney World. So I'm pretty sure that Florida took the DeLorean back to the 1800s, 100%. Absolutely. It's a crap show over there, but I can't do it right now. My heart of hearts. But I mean, we're going to Florida and Walt Disney World, right? The fun part of Florida, right? Like there's also stuff going on there. Let's just stick to the Galactic Star Cruiser. So this event, this experience. So for those of y'all who don't know, it's a 2-night all-inclusive experience. It's a 2-night minimum to stay in this place. I believe per person, it was anywhere from $1,600 to $2,500 for 2 nights. This thing was just like you stay there, you hang out there, you do all these events, you do all these really cool things, you go out to dinner, uh, lightsaber training, all these really, really fun things, right? But the idea was that people are going to go to Disney World just to stay at this hotel for 2 days. You do get passes into the park. So you go, drops you off at Galaxy's Edge. You're on this cruise, you finally end up in Galaxy's Edge. I thought it was a really, really cool idea in theory. A Star Wars hotel, like an interactive Star Wars hotel. That's great. I'm not going to spend that much to go to Walt Disney World and stay in a hotel for 2 days.
Yeah.
If I'm at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I understand a little steep. I understand resort days, right? Like we had 2 resort days, so much fun, hung out by the pool, had some drinks, just hung out, made it a day. I don't want to be stuck inside of a hotel all day on a resort day. Yeah. And have to wait in lines for experience on my resort day in my hotel. I don't know how you all feel about this, but I think it was a bad idea from the get-go. I think Disney, their brain was, their imagination was bigger than their wallets. Yeah. I think that they weren't thinking about it. And it shut down. I was shutting down in September after about 1.5 years, I believe it was open for. Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on this thing, man? I'll continue my thoughts after you guys. So please go for it.
Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, Anaheim almost had this also. There's a big dispute with the city. We didn't get it. Dodged a bullet there. Here's my thing. As a pass holder or magic key holder, whatever they call it now. I totally understand what you're saying, but if I go to Disneyland all the time, so that's something I would be into. My issue was go ahead.
No, like Disneyland, I can totally see, right? Because Disneyland is a local
park.
Yeah, it's a local park. But like, if you're going to go to Disney World, as
I totally understand
destination vacation, but go ahead.
Right, because then you don't want to be there. But so like, let's give it the benefit of the doubt. And like, if I'm assuming this is something that I want to do, my issue is that they're pricing out the real Star Wars fans, right? So it's like, because I've watched countless videos on YouTube of like the whole weekend experience, and it's kind of cool. It's fun. It's cool. Yeah. The food looks meh. It looks like a really expensive dinner theater, which is kind of fun. But then it's a bunch of characters I don't think any Star Wars fans really gives a shit about.
I kind of wish it was themed to the Fifth Element. That would have been cool.
That would have been so cool because they do the
exactly.
Like, really
Chris
cool.
Tucker, come out. And, what was his name? Roddy Rod. I can't remember his name in that movie.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Lilu Dallas Multipass or whatever. That would have been really fun. So maybe that's something they do. But then so the question to me is like, what is the solution, right? Do they lower the price and like take a little bit of the experience away? Would that save it? Do they double down and like just really, really do it well, just charge a little bit more? Like, or is it like, because they're not going to turn that into anything. It's a backstage hotel. You know what I mean? So that's just going to be there. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I'd be surprised if they decided they were going to do something new with the area.
The new Guardians of the Galaxy experience.
And you could even keep it as like a Star Wars hotel, right? Like just kind of gut it a little bit, make it a Star Wars themed hotel, keep some of the things that are already there in place.
Right.
But just, that would be, I think, the logical solution, right?
I see, that's where I'm at. So I just saw Adam the Woo. Shout out if you guys are fans of Adam the Woo, and shout out Adam. Oh yeah, love you, dude. He just went there with Daphne a couple of weeks ago, if not a week ago. It was almost empty. It was crazy. Like it was just kind of them walking around by themselves. There were obviously other people there, but like the difference between just a year, it's like that's a lot of staff that you're paying for. That's just it's a lot of overhead that goes with it. So I kind of understand where they're coming from, but I think, like you said, this was destined to fail. The way this whole thing was set
sadly
up.
Yeah.
Jason,
what do you think? Let's say you're booking a trip to Florida. Is like the Starship, the Galactic Star Cruiser, one of your first destinations? Like, is that something
this thing ends in October, right? I better buy my ticket right now.
September.
No, honestly, if I'm going to Florida, like, of course, Walt Disney World, definitely a destination, but
Yeah.
I'm also a guy that goes out and finds snakes, and I hear a lot about Florida's Everglades and like how people dump exotic creatures and stuff out there. I think it'd be kind of cool to go out into the woods and find cobras and shit like that, you know?
Right.
That'd be cool.
No,
like, you guys ever watched the Animal Channel? Like there's these guys that they got to relocate exotic species, and they find so many pythons out there and like just big old green iguanas just chilling on the tree like they live there now, because people, rich Floridians, releasing them once they can't handle them and they get too big.
Yeah.
Anthony says, make it super cheap for us folks who had never had a chance.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, if they're closing it anyway, do like a super clearance thing. Like, just go out with a blast. Like, let the Star Wars fans come through. You know what I mean? That might be a completely different experience. But I don't know.
Even Star Wars experience brought to you by Frankincense.
If they could drop the price, like even because from what I'm hearing on average for two people for the 2 days, it's like about $6,000, right? So
yeah, for like
two. That's rough, dude. That's really rough. Because like, think about what you can do with that money. Like, you could go anywhere in the world for that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know that's off world, and like, you know what I mean. But
we did a price when we went to Disney World, just to go to Disney World without obviously doing the Star Cruiser and stuff like that. We were looking into it, and it's cheaper for us to book a flight to Japan, stay in Japan for a week, do Disneyland over there, Disney, all that stuff over there. Cheaper for us to do that than it was for a 7-day vacation in Florida with the kids. Like, that's
you're
insane.
in a whole other country.
Yeah,
whole other country. Like, it's just so nuts. And like you said, Christian, like, it is pricing out all the Star Wars fans, but I mean, let's be honest, that's kind of what Disney's been doing lately anyways, is just pricing people out of the parks, which is a whole other podcast, a whole other conversation we can have. Yeah, it's insane. And I agree, Anthony, like, we need to make it cheaper, make it more affordable for families to be able to afford this experience, because it's really cool, but you can't do it. Like, the average person can't do it with their kids. Like, it's not a memory you can make with your family.
No.
For the average person. Like, it's insane. Like, Disney used to be, it was still like the expensive park, but it used to be somewhat affordable.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, Jason, were you going to say something?
Unless you hit the Powerball between now and then.
Yeah. Like, seriously, like, that's
high.
the only way it'll work.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Let us know how you guys feel about the Galactic Star Cruiser. We're just going to have to do a whole Disney episode one of these days, where you just talk about Disney parks and just, the bunch of stuff going on there too. That's just a lot to get into for one podcast.
Oh yeah.
So just real quick, since we're on the subject of Disney, let's talk about Disney Plus. Disney Plus is taking a bunch of their original content off. Disney Plus and Hulu are both taking a bunch of their original content off of the services. Same thing HBO Max did, now Max did before. They took off Westworld and like all these other shows, these big high profile shows, these big reasons why people are subscribing to HBO, so they can sell them off to other smaller to other companies to make more money. That's essentially what Disney is doing now. So far Star Wars is safe, Marvel is safe, but Willow, the show that just premiered on there not even 2 months ago.
Bye.
Yeah, Mighty Ducks, both seasons of the Mighty Ducks. I haven't even watched the second season yet. Bye. This is the biggest reason, and the crappy part, the really bad part, none of these shows you can buy on physical media.
This is it. It's just gone now.
It's just gone. It's gone now until it like shows up maybe on Netflix down the road, a couple years down the road, because Disney got greedy and needed money, so they leased it out to them. It's insane to me. Like, I don't, and again, that goes into the writers thing too, right? Like, because a lot of these shows are being taken off. Part of me thinks that this writer strike had a little bit to do with that, because now Disney doesn't have to pay any sort of residuals if they take certain shows off, right? So they're able to get it off their service.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of it's for tax write-off purposes and stuff, but something that's done and out already. Like, I remember, we had the Batgirl situation, like, fine, whatever. The thing never saw the light of day. These things have been out Like these things, people are subscribing to these. So I'm not going to sit here and say people are subscribing to Disney Plus for the Mighty Ducks, right? Or Willow, right? Like they're doing it for Star Wars, Marvel, but who knows what the reasons are. But this is going to, I've never been a big fan of torrenting or pirating. And I'm not saying do it, guys. I'm not saying to do it at all. But if you have to,
what other option do you have?
Well, exactly. You don't have any other options. It's like people are going to want to watch this stuff. They're going to find a way to watch it.
Yeah.
And it's really going to start affecting them when they start taking off a lot of more high profile stuff. I read that Why the Last Man is being taken off of Hulu, and
I haven't even seen it yet. Jesus, come on.
It's insane. And all of the streaming services are doing it. So it's like HBO Max did it, or sorry, I don't mean to call it by its dead name. It's Max. I apologize. But like, Disney Plus, I'm sure, Paramount's done it. I'm sure all these networks are going to start doing it. And it's streaming services. It's kind of scary. It's gone. Like, it really bothers me too that I can't add the Marvel stuff to my Marvel Blu-ray collection. Because
all about having the physical copy,
Exactly. And then when stuff like this happens, listen, we go through that all the time, right? Like movies come out, movies go to Netflix, and they're off like a year later. You can't find them again. Buy physical media, people. Buy physical media. I'm telling you. Yeah. I know it sounds silly, especially when you have all these streaming things. Don't buy digital either. Don't buy digital because those don't even belong to you fully. You're essentially renting disc. Those. Yeah. Have the physical disc, like go buy physical media. If new movie comes out you want, we're getting into an age where they can just take it off, it'll disappear forever. Like it can just leave forever. Buy it physical media.
Have you guys watched Primal on HBO Max?
Mm-mm.
No, not yet, but I've heard good things.
Watched that before that one. Oh, it's the animated dinosaur one, but it's all pretty much silent. That is so badass.
It's the Samurai Jack, right? What's his name?
Tartakovsky.
Clone Wars.
Tartakovsky
or something.
Anthony Blanco said, I never thought of it like that. That's scary. It is scary, man.
Yeah. It's like when we go digital like this, then they completely control the media. So it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, exactly. You don't want to buy digital because they could shut down an app and then you're just SOL. Yeah. You know what I mean? You spend how much money on your digital movie collection. I mean, I'm guilty, dude. I own movies on Prime,
so do I.
So it's like really quickly, I'm like, oh man, if Amazon goes down, I've kind of put a lot of money into that.
Oh yeah.
So that's a bummer. But like, yeah, it just sucks. Also coming from a creative standpoint, I heard an interview with the showrunner from Why the Last Man, and like just the thought of like, creating something, even if it's not a hit right away, like eventually down the line, people will see it, hopefully, and like it because it's out there. But then when you take that away, from people, like you work your ass off for like years to like literally like something that like people are just going to keep in a vault and nobody gets to see. That's awful. That really sucks. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't even want to get into Batgirl and like all that stuff too, because a lot of people worked really hard on that, and that was like tax reasons. So I don't know, man. Like it's a real bummer. But I feel like like you're right. I think some of this has to do with the writer's strike and like
it does. Did you guys ever see that? Did you guys ever see that Matt Damon interview where he was talking about physical media and how it's so essential to Hollywood? He was talking about stuff like Good Will Hunting, like back in the day. It wasn't a huge hit when it came out to theaters, but it was physical media.
Yeah.
That brought people to it. And it's kind of like that today. Like today, we don't get the joy of going to like a video store and actually discovering stuff anymore, right? Like it's a whole new world. So movies don't get discovered like they used to.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah, like the good old days. Like now you scroll on a computer or Redbox or whatever on screen and see what
trips to the warehouse and Blockbuster. Oh my god,
warehouse
good times,
man.
Blockbuster, great. The warehouse was amazing too. And you just see like, I remember that experience of going to like Blockbuster and like going down the horror aisle or something, whatever, and like seeing a really cool cover and like, it's not like a totally indicative of what the movie's going to be, but like you're like, I need to see this. Like, I need to see this. Like, I don't care what it's about. It just looks cool.
I hate to say it because I feel like right now we are in the midst of like the golden age of television. Like TV has never been this good, right? And I feel like we might be looking at the end of this, or like a huge shift. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh, no, yeah. So I mean, my thing is like this is kind of very similar to the music industry and like what happened to the music industry in the early 2000s, right? Everything got digitized, and the way that people were internalizing or like consuming music changed drastically. I, again, being an old fuddy duddy from the 90s, think like music sucks now, kind of. You know what I mean?
It does.
Right.
I agree. I'm the old guy, remember?
Right. And I would hate to think that this is going to happen to film. I think that's really scary. So
very
again, physical media is like they can't take that away from you. You know what I mean? So invest in Blu-ray and DVD.
Do it, guys.
Cassette.
Cassette. Hey, I was old school like that. When CD players were cool, I was that guy bumping a cassette.
Yeah, me too. I still have it somewhere at my parents' house, a box full of cassette tapes of radio cuts. So
Max Al cassettes.
Yep, exactly. 90 minutes always.
But yeah, so definitely get your DVDs and 4Ks and Blu-rays and all that stuff. DVDs, I don't even know if DVDs are still around. So yeah, check those out. So guys, let's just talk about a couple things that we've seen recently and that we've been, because I finally saw Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
I know you guys have seen it as well. It's now streaming on Paramount Plus, so go watch it on Paramount Plus. Actually, I don't even think it's available to buy yet on physical media. So watch it on Paramount Plus until you can go buy it on physical media, then buy it, because it is a movie that you will want to watch again. I feel like it was a lot of fun. I had a blast with it. I thought it was I haven't played a lot of D&D, but it felt like playing a fun game of D&D with some friends. Right? Like it really kind of captured the spirit. Yeah.
And you got to love the ode to the classic cartoon characters. Remember that other group that was in
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey.
They're great. Christian, you're like the resident D&D player
here. Guy. I have here. This is D&D.
I don't wait, Jason. I don't think you don't play D&D regularly or anything, right?
No, I've tried playing physical 6-sided dice D&D, but at my local comic shop. But thick skull, like it's a little beyond my comprehension.
No, I hear, dude. I'm the same way. Don't worry about it. But yeah, Christian, what is that? That's a
it's my little skull mug.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
That feels D&D-ish. It feels like
that's
I'm in a tavern.
Cool.
I use it as my pen holder though. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, that's the thing. I've heard people like, do I have to play D&D to like it? No.
Not at
they're
all.
like, do I have to know anything about D&D? Nope. Do you know what a story is? Then you're good. You're ready to go. Yeah, it was so much fun. It was such a blast. Like, man, the performances were fantastic. Michelle Rodriguez's character was great. Almost a Drax character was really funny.
Yeah.
Chris Pine. There's an amazing cameo that I was completely did not know was going to happen. That was really
caught me off guard.
Yeah,
right? That was fucking awesome.
Man, and then what Reggae John with that guy from Bridgerton, fantastic. Like. Yes. Love that guy, man.
I just love when he's like walking away. Like,
on the rock.
Just gonna walk right over the rock. It's like that is so good.
The only thing up my arms or up my sleeves are my arms. Like he was so literal. Like he said, "Son of a bitch." So you blame his mother. So he blames his mother.
It's fantastic. Sophia Lillis, I thought, was really good too. Obviously, from It, like she was Beverly in It and stuff, and it's cool to see kind of where her career is going and stuff like that. She's been doing a lot of cool things, and I thought she was really great in this also.
Yeah, it was a blast. Definitely highly recommend, because I don't think enough people saw it, and I desperately want a sequel for this. movie.
Same, 100%. And I was talking to Cassie while we were watching it, or like afterwards, and I'm like, I honestly believe that Hugh Grant is one of the only actors I can think of who can be like either the most incredibly charming, happy-go-lucky guy in the world and you love him, or the most sleazy, disgusting, horrible human being. Like he can do both like flawlessly. Like there's no middle ground. He's either that or that. Like he's always so good at whatever he's doing. And he's convincing. Like, you see him do the charming guy thing, and it's like, oh, he's Hugh Grant, he's great. And then he's doing this sleazy guy thing, and you're like, Hugh Grant, I hate him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I think one of the funniest lines in that movie was in the trailer. He's like, I don't want to see you guys die. That's why I'm going to leave the room. It's so funny to me, and it's so Hugh Grant
so
too.
Good.
Like, it's really funny.
Good. I do wish that they had kept that. Because I love the graveyard scene. I thought the graveyard scene was fantastic, but I do wish they kept that out of the trailer because that was pretty big. That was hugely featured in the trailer. So I didn't. I kind of wish they took that out, but I thought it was really good.
Though, with the 5 questions.
Yeah, so funny.
I've been really good lately I've stopped watching trailers. So I only will watch like the first trailer release, and then after that I don't watch trailers.
Oh yeah.
Anymore. So Guardians, I didn't see any of that stuff.
Nice.
And then I'm kind of Fast X. I don't know about that, but I didn't watch any of those trailers either. I still haven't seen the 9th movie. I heard it was ass. That movie.
Yeah, I never saw the 9th one.
But I also heard that the 10th one is X's ass, but I heard it's worth it for Jason Momoa's performance. So for that, I'll go on and see it. Yeah,
I'm the same way though. I watched the first trailer for the most part, but after that, like I haven't watched any of the newer Spider-Verse trailers.
Same,
I haven't watched any, even like Indiana Jones. I haven't watched, which we got our first reactions for that, and let's just say Crystal Skull might not be the worst Indiana Jones movie. But hey, I'm still excited. I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna be wearing my fedora and my whip. I'm taking my whip.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go in there. Yeah, I'm just gonna be whipping every time Indy says something funny. But no, I don't. Mission Impossible is another one. I've been staying away from any of the trailers.
I'm still, Indy. It's James Mangold. Like,
yeah,
I'm in. I don't care. I'm gonna see. I'll be the judge. And like,
100%.
Even I feel like I'm gonna end up being an apologist for that movie. But I don't know. I don't know.
You know what? Like. So I'm not even like saying this as a person who has had like years away from it and is like looking back and be like, oh, it was actually pretty good. I don't think that Crystal Skull is as bad as people give it credit for.
No, it was decent.
Really, really dumb.
Thank you. God.
Like there's some really horrible, there's some like laughable moments and some stuff where you're just like, what the heck? Like the stuff where he's swinging through the vines.
That's the only thing. Yeah, for me.
And even the fridge kind of for me at the beginning is like,
I'm okay with that.
It might work. But yeah,
it's cool.
But no, I don't think it's as bad as like people like. It's fine. It's an Indiana Jones. Nothing's gonna reach the original trilogy, right? Like we just got to face that and move on. One thing I heard they did do for the 4K release of the series, because they released them all in 4K, they actually color graded Crystal Skull to be more in line with.
Oh, that's cool.
The original trilogy, because Crystal Skull has this like shine to it, right? It's kind of like Star Wars prequel, kind of like. This looks really shiny, but they color graded it to make it more feel like an Indiana Jones movie. I haven't watched that version yet, but I heard that actually makes it better because it fits into the world more. But yeah, I like Crystal Skull. I don't think it's horrible.
I literally had this conversation last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and we were talking about like, you know what? It wasn't so bad.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And even walking out of it, I was like, man, like that was fun. Like I didn't really like think it was horrible. I was like, that was fun. And then I bought it when it came out on like DVD or whatever. I was like, it's still fun.
By the way, I don't know if you guys have ever read Lucas's original treatment for Crystal Skull.
I have.
Yeah, because it was like Haunted Mansion, Monkey King focused, which like the only thing that we see from it is the swinging scene, which is like the leftover from Lucas's original. It's crazy. Yeah, very monkey heavy movie.
Speaking of trailers, actually one trailer I did watch, the second trailer for was the Haunted Mansion, because I had to kind of see what they were going to do with it.
I haven't seen the second one.
Looks good.
Okay.
Like it looks fine. It looks good. It looks fun. Looks it's not Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks. I'm ready for it. The cast is amazing. Rosario Dawson, Owen Wilson, Tiffany Haddish, as Jamie Lee Curtis as Madame Leota, Lakeith Steinfeld, Danny DeVito,
what a cast!
You can't go wrong with that cast. So
that's July, right?
That is July, yes. We have a lot of, so this weekend we have, so Memorial Day weekend, The Little Mermaid comes out.
That's what comes out this weekend. I knew
Yeah,
something.
like we're going to watch that on Memorial. I think we're watching that Sunday. And then we already have our tickets for Spider-Verse next Friday.
Holy crap, already. Jesus.
So it's not this Friday, but next Friday. And then I think 2 weeks after that is The Flash, if I'm not mistaken.
It's like 3 weeks in a row, I think.
Yeah, there's got to be some. I don't think there's anything in between. I think like studios are like, all right, we'll keep this space open for a little bit until The Flash comes out. Then The Flash is going to do its thing, and then
I've been seeing the reviews for The Flash and like watching even like just people on TikTok, and it's crazy because across the board, man, it's just everybody celebrating the movie.
That worries me though. I'm not gonna lie. So let me tell you why.
Yeah, please.
I'm more likely to go see a movie that is or I'm more excited to see a movie that has mixed reactions, right? Let's take Indiana Jones, for example.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
I'm more excited to go see that because I'm not sure what I'm in for, especially a lot of these early reactions for certain movies and stuff like that, especially things like The Flash, right? When it premiered at CinemaCon, it was like unanimous praise. But that tends to happen a lot when a lot of these movies first release. Like they'll get these huge, like people are just essentially like kissing ass to the studio. You know, they're like, I got to see it ahead of time and I'm special and I loved it. I thought it was great. But I don't know, when things are unanimous. There was a movie that just, gosh, I can't remember.
Oh, I know. I feel like we had this conversation.
We did.
What was it? Damn it.
Yeah, I can't remember, but when it's like super unanimous, either way. So if it's unanimously bad or unanimously good, I'm kind of like approach it with caution because it's like I don't know. Except for when Everything Everywhere All at Once came out, because that movie was a masterpiece
and deserved all the praise.
It deserved all the praise. Arturo Garcia Jr., what's up, man? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, for me personally, I like the kind of the mixed bag a little bit more because it kind of like gives me a little bit more leeway to be like, I don't go in with any sort of opinion, because a lot of the times, like The Flash, I'm going to go in thinking it's the greatest movie in the world because everyone's saying it's the greatest movie in the world.
Yeah.
That might not be the best movie in the world. And, you know, hey, I'm not saying anything against DC, but with their track record, let's be honest, right? And even recent Marvel, that's why I love Guardians 3 so much, because it didn't suck.
Yeah.
It didn't suck like a lot of the other ones.
Speaking of mixed reviews, okay, oh my God, I don't remember what the name of it, but it's the guy, you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about. It's speaking of Max and reviews and stuff. The guy who was the showrunner for, oh my God, the Zendaya show.
Yeah.
His new show coming out, The
Idol.
Yeah. It had like a 13% this morning, and now I think it's down to 10% on Rotten Tomatoes.
But like everyone who saw it said it was amazing. That's the thing.
So it's really, again, I'm kind of now intrigued now. Like
so I gotta be honest, man, the show does nothing for me. Like I didn't watch you. I would only watch Euphoria for because I think the cast is great. But Christian, it was you talking about that the other night, wasn't it? About watching Euphoria.
I still have my friends that I hang out, Tiff, Josh, hi guys, love you guys. They have been trying to. I mean, she's been really insistent that one of these days we're gonna like binge watch it at their house. So I would feel more comfortable watching it with other people. I'd feel like a creep if I was watching it by myself. Like the cops are gonna knock on my door.
And I don't really. This show just doesn't like. It's not going to be my thing. I already know that. Other people might love it, and that's fine. I just, from what I've heard about it, and I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but the first episode is
torture porn. That's what I heard.
It's essentially porn. Yeah, it's essentially
porn.
Oh, it's just like it's essentially just like porn. I don't want to get into it. This is a family-friendly podcast, so we will not discuss it too much.
So is it basically like the whole thing with that blonde movie?
Essentially, yeah. Okay. Essentially, yeah. It's very like highly sexualized, which is fine. I have nothing against that.
Right.
But it's like this, it's basically the story revolves around Lily Rose Depp. Is that her name? Johnny Depp's daughter. She plays someone who basically, gets pictures leaked and a video leaked, and it kind of becomes like a revenge, pornography thing. And then The Weeknd plays this record producer who's like,
it's funny. So I was watching Philip DeFranco's show. He was just talking about it, and literally the ad that ran right after it was the ad for the show, which was so funny. It was so weird. Nice. I'm happy for The Weeknd. I actually really like The Weeknd. I'm excited.
Same. That he's I think he's great.
He looks super sleazy in the trailers. So I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think Lily Rose Depp, I've only seen her in like one thing. Maybe I saw her in that Kevin Smith movie with Johnny Depp, and it had the little weird hot dog guys, and it was a super bizarre. It was kind of like they worked at a convenience store. It was Harley Quinn Smith and Lily Rose Depp. They played like essentially like Clerks, but like it was a really weird version of Clerks. I don't even know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It could be good. But yeah, 10% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's not good.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there was only 10 reviews, so that might change once we get a bigger consensus of people. So
yeah.
So we will see. So we watched that Dungeons and Dragons, and nobody here saw Fast X.
No, okay. I did watch two things. I watched the first episode of A Small Light. I don't know if
I've heard about
the Anne Frank one.
Yes,
that looks good.
Disney Plus. All right.
I
need
to check that out.
It was really good. It's crazy. It's like endearing and harrowing and difficult and tense. Especially like when you keep it in the back of your mind that you're watching Disney Plus. There's like a very light, sensual scene. Let's call it that. And my friend Josh was like, "Ooh la la, Disney Plus." It's kind of funny watching. And then I finally watched the first episode of Succession.
Cool.
Yes.
I need to watch that.
Succession, man. Wow, everybody's a piece of shit. That's a great like Kieran Culkin, by the way, hilariously awful.
That's Macaulay's brother, right?
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin's little brother. He's so good. Like I love him. He's been in a ton of things. There was obviously
Scream 5, right? Or Scream 4.
Scream 4, yeah.
Scream 4. He's been in a ton of things.
That's Fuller.
Yeah.
Wet the bed.
Yeah. So those two things are both excellent, and I'm excited to see more.
On Max, speaking of Max, Mogwai, The Secrets of the Mogwai, which is the Gremlins animated series, dropped today. I've heard that was really, really good. So go check that out.
You need to.
There you go.
There is a podcast I listen to called Smartless, one of my favorite podcasts, hosted by Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes. And they filmed their first tour, and it's now on HBO Max or Max. Oh, Jesus, this is going to take a while. It's on Max. It's a docu-series. I think there's 5 or 6 episodes. Just them on the tour. I mean, you can imagine, it's Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, just taking jabs at each other like the whole time. It's hilarious. It's great. Sean Hayes is amazing also. The 5 episodes dropped today on Max as well. So I started watching that earlier, and I absolutely adore it. So podcast is great too. If you guys haven't listened to Smartless, it's one of the greatest, hilarious, just they're such great interviewers, because I don't know if you guys know the concept or the conceit of it, but basically each one of them each week brings a surprise guest. So the other 2 don't know who the guest is. So they have to think on the fly to ask questions. So they have everyone from James Cameron to like freaking
God,
Bono, and like just all these.
That's awesome.
They had Joe Biden on, they went to the White House and interviewed Joe Biden. Like, it's just insane. And it's just like it's a great podcast, super funny. Like I said, those 3 guys together, it's gold, it's magic. So definitely check that out. My pimp for someone else's podcast, which is great. Guys. So I think that's our show today. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for checking us out. We really, really appreciate you all. If you guys can share, let your friends know about it, that would be fantastic. Jason, where can they find you?
MySpace, Napster, America Online, if you have the disc.
Right?
Physical media.
Physical media, man. Christian.
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I will plug. I have a new account because I'm trying to start something up here. So it's called Inland Empire Drawing Club.
Yes.
If you're local, definitely check us out. It's still super early. I just kind of did it so I could actually have the account. But like we don't have a brick and mortar yet, but that's what we're working on. So
Cool.
the plan is hopefully by like the fall, we can kind of get this started. And give us a place to get together again, because we just don't have that anymore. So Inland Empire Drawing Club on underscores, by the way, in between everything, on Instagram, and support us. That would be awesome. Also, if you could share that and spread the love, that would be much appreciated. So yeah,
call it all artists.
Yeah, seriously.
100%.
Yeah. And Kevin, where can they find you?
Find me everywhere. I'm probably watching you right now. Like, no, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you find your cool news and stuff. Kevin Hoskinson or Kevin_Hoskinson. Yeah, thank you guys for checking out the show. So a couple shameless plugs real quick. My Public Life as an American Nerd comes out every Wednesday. Check out the downloadable. That one's only video. You guys don't get to see my pretty face, but you get to see me on the cover holding a Thanos glove, the gauntlet. I'm about to throw down the gauntlet. So yeah, check that out every week, wherever you find your podcast, Apple, Spotify, all that stuff. And we also have Geek Galaxy with Yam and the Boys, which is a lot of fun too. And yeah, so definitely stay tuned to Pastrami Nation. Follow Pastrami Nation on all the socials, man. Some of them on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all kinds of places. TikTok, follow them on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff going on there, guys. I promise you guys will see a lot of cool stuff happening. So stay tuned for all of that stuff. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Oh, and don't forget to join us every week here, every Tuesday night at 7 for something new. So next week we won't be doing one. I'll tell you guys why later. But other than that, we will be doing one every other Tuesday. So starting, so not next week, but the week after, it'll be every Tuesday again. But all right, you guys, take it easy. Have a good night. Have a good day whenever you listen to this. Take care of yourselves and each other.